I have a question. Which metrics, DR or DA or TF, should we consider for more authority, powerful contextual backlinks, and what would be a good range for authority? Uh, so we like Ahrefs. We use DR. Um, sometimes, well, I don't use DA anymore. I used to use DA only because I would use Mozbar. It's a free plugin for Chrome where you can check the DA of sites on just Google SERPs. Like you can see them all just right on the when you search for a keyword, which is really useful. But now I just use the Ahrefs bar. Um,
I'm
I
still
never
on
use
Moz.
CF and TF. We use CF, TF like minimum scores for some of our products, some of the links that we sell, but honestly, it's not something I really pay too much attention to myself. Um, Ahrefs is the big one. Um, Number two, I don't even use SEMrush, but I know SEMrush has really grown in popularity lately. I would have to say number two would probably be SEMrush if you're trying to look for like a ranking. If you want like an alternative to Ahrefs, SEMrush would probably be what I'd tell you to grab up if you don't like the Ahrefs price or whatever. Um, but then for the second part of your question, you're asking what's a good range of authority, and simply everything. Everything is good, right? Of course, higher authority, the higher the authority, the better. But natural websites get links of all different authority levels, and so should your site. So if you're building backlinks, you're doing something that Google doesn't necessarily like too much. So you need to build your backlink profile in a very natural way, which means getting links of all authority levels. Most of your budget, well, you'll spend more money on higher authority links just because they cost more. Mid to high authority links. Just to give you an idea, when I'm saying like low authority, I'm thinking like super low authority is like, of course, anything under like 10 or so. And then like still pretty low authority is like, 10 to 20. Then you start getting kind of like mid, but still a little bit low authority, like 10 or 20 to 35. I call medium authority anywhere like 35 to 50, and then high authority, so like anything over 50 is pretty much high authority. And then you have like your super high authority, which is like if you can get stuff that's like DR like 70, 80, 90, you're like, holy F, this is insane, right? This is like insane authority levels that you probably won't really get much of at all really for contextual, like guest post or editorial type links. If you're doing something like profiles or that kind of stuff, then of course you can get that easily. But we're talking about contextual links here for your question. I'm also going to post one more thing for you. Quality backlinks. Oop. What is a quality link? I wrote this article a while back that kind of explains what a quality backlink is. And it kind of talks about this subject about, how much authority do you need? But yeah, you don't really have to look at it just like that. There's a bunch of other stuff that can make a link important. And I guess I'll pull up the article real quick and we can just kind of go over some of the stuff. Here we go. What's a quality link? And yeah, so it just kind of covers some of the stuff. So we call the Holy Trinity like authority, power, which is kind of like page authority, and then relevance. And the thing is so for example, you can have like lower website authority, but the page that the link is from could have a lot more links, or the relevance, the website could be more relevant to whatever, and that could still be a really good link. So you don't need all three things to be like super high. So on this hand, we have like a very high authority domain, but then you see the relevance is much lower. So maybe like maybe the domain posts content about a bunch of different types of stuff. And then maybe the page itself that the link is coming from doesn't have any links at all, really. So it's a high authority domain that kind of posts about a bunch of different stuff. It can still be a really good link for you, right? Some people like to be really high on the relevance like this, and they'll do like relevance over everything. Like they just want super niched down specific domains, and they don't, the authority and the power they kind of think of like second. We like to do a mix of everything, I wouldn't want to build all links like this, and I wouldn't want to build all links like this. I want a mix of everything. And yeah, there's more that goes into it, but you can read the article. Authority, power, traffic, yada yada yada. Anchor text. It's a big article. Anything to add on that one, Nick?
Yeah. So yeah, all good points Chris said.
I'm gonna go grab some water real
I
quick.
think if you're newer, well, so if you're asking this question, you're probably a little bit newer to backlinking. One of the things I'm going to really stress. So yes, we do like DR predominantly. We've gotten used to Ahrefs. They really do a good job overall of giving you a good idea of what's going on with the website based on that metric. But especially when you're newer at SEO and you're trying to get your bearings and you're trying to understand exactly what all these different metrics do, whether you can trust them, etc., the best way to understand them is to continually be exploring, using as many of them as you possibly can. So for example, when I got my start in SEO, combing through domains and trying to procure them for the uses of PBNs or repurposing, etc., um, kind of got me going through using tools like Spamzilla, or it was before then, so Register Compass was really popular, right? And so in that, you've got a bunch of data sets that you're kind of messing with to try and find and explore these domains that are available. The more you do that, the more you're going to understand the nuances of each of these metrics and why they are valuable. And the more of them that you put together, the better and more well-rounded picture you're going to get overall, on what a domain is, how a domain is sitting as far as authority, power, et cetera goes, relevance. So yeah, I know it's hard up front, especially if you don't have the bankroll to get a whole bunch of tools. But if you're kind of specific with what your task is, so like for me, again, it was procuring domains, then it makes sense for your business model to have, multiple tools that you can kind of look through. Though we don't use DA too often, I still comb the SERPs using Mozbar. So, I haven't switched over to Ahrefs, but I also like a bit of variety. And then TFCF, I don't really use too often anymore, except for using it for like broad kind of spectrum stuff. So again, whenever I'm trying to comb large amounts of data, what I've come to find is TFCF, though not the most reliable metrics rather, if you keep them above like 8 each, then you're going to eliminate a decent amount of spam. So, all of these have their own nuances, and though we think Ahrefs is probably the most well-rounded, it's still valuable, especially early on, to kind of explore all these things, right? Um, and then yeah, as far as range of authority, like Chris said, what is most natural is to imagine press, like just in and of itself. This website created a new product. It's pretty cool. Forbes, boom, hit it with a little bit of press, like they've got something. There's going to be trailing press alongside that. It's not all going to be giant mega websites, but once press hits, a news or an authority site, typically there's trailing press from smaller websites, from social media, etc. What you want to conceptualize in your mindset is blending all of these things together and giving bots, like Google bots, Bing bots, whoever, a narrative that says, oh, okay, they've got some press for whatever reason, and it's generating a whole lot of, talking, basically chatter. And so that's kind of what we do with backlinks. So yeah, I think with everything that Chris said, and then, kind of taking it in that direction, you'll be well on your way to using these metrics for the benefit of SEO.
And just one quick thing before we finish the question off. I was talking about the different kind of authority levels. This is just on our guest post page. So these are the pricing for our standard guest posts. And you can see we don't even, excuse me, We don't even sell guest posts under DR20. We do sell some niche edits under DR20. We even sell some like super duper low authority niche edits. But in general, you can kind of think of these as like, this is kind of lower authority, these are mid, this is high authority. And I've even seen some people say they don't pursue any links under DR40. I don't necessarily agree with that, especially if you can scoop them up for cheaper and they're available and it looks like a good link, go for it. I don't see any reason in not taking anything under DR40, to be completely honest. Especially, I like using these kind of lower authority guest posts, especially in the beginning stages. Just getting links from a bunch of different targets and getting a bunch of different kinds of anchor text in and stuff like that. So yeah, I wouldn't say this is bad at all. I use these a lot, actually. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the links below for more info on this topic, as well as other cool stuff like SEO case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks, and happy ranking.